Now that we know the basics of HTML, CSS, and a little bit of JavaScript, our web pages are becoming quite a bit more interesting. And we'll now talk about something called Bootstrap. So I'd like you to go ahead and just look through some material that I have here on the Canvas page that just talks about what Bootstrap is. It's a framework. This talks a little bit about what a framework is. But basically it is pre-written code that's available for us to use so we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. So we might create a button and want it to look a certain way. Well, Bootstrap has that available for us, and we can just use their class, and then we don't have to create all this styling. So we still might want to customize it, so we still need to know about CSS and so forth. But there's a lot of things that have already been built so that we can just use it. It makes it faster, more efficient, all that kind of stuff. You can get Bootstrap 3 different ways. So one is to download the source code. Here is the website where you can download that. The other is to install it via Package Manager, and you can see details on that also at the Bootstrap website. And then the other one is to use a content delivery network. So I'm going to read this paragraph right here on what a content delivery network is. If you don't want to download and host Bootstrap 5 yourself, you can include it from a content delivery network. A content delivery network is a system of distributed servers that deliver web content like images, videos, style sheets, JavaScript files, and even entire web pages to users based on their geographic location. So in our case, it will be delivering style sheet information. The key purpose of a CDN is to improve performance, speed, and reliability of content delivery by reducing the physical distance between the server and the user. If we want to use Bootstrap from a content delivery network, we need to include these two lines in our HTML source code. And you can see they're in the head element. This first one is referring to a style sheet, and the second one is referring to JavaScript. So let's take a look at this example. I have it right here in Canvas if you want to download it. I'm going to show it to you right here. So here's a full example of using Bootstrap. I thought I would take an example that we are all familiar with. So let's take a look at creating a basic table. So if I don't use Bootstrap, I'm going to show you what the table looks like. So I need to get rid of this line here. And if I click on this example without using Bootstrap, you can see what my table looks like right here. So this is just your basic table. We've created a header. We have several different rows in it, and you can see that right here. Now, if we want to use one of the classes in Bootstrap, we'll type class equals table. Now, if I reload it, you can see some nice styling was applied to the table. What I'm doing is I'm using a table class that was already created, and it's in this thing called Bootstrap. It's available for me to use. It saves me a lot of time. It looks nice. If I use this, if I have several tables in my website and I use this styling for each table, it gives me a consistent look throughout my website. Basically, it saves you a lot of time. It looks nice and saves you a lot of time. So the table class adds basic styling, light padding, and horizontal dividers to a table. Now there's all sorts of different things that you can do with Bootstrap. On Canvas, I have a link to the W3 Schools website, and they have tutorials on things like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, etc. I like this website a lot because it gives you just good, simple examples, and then you can see what it looks like when it's rendered in the browser, and you can see what the HTML code looks like. So if you click on tables here, this is where I took the example that I just showed you. If you scroll down, you can see that you can add additional things. So like we did just the basic table class, but you can do striped rows. You can do where your table has borders. Let's just go ahead and add the stripes to the example that we were working with. So what we would do is come over to the HTML code, and then we would add table stripe. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then if I go over and double click on it, you can see now I have that styling where it is striped. Very simple and easy to use. Let's take a look at another Bootstrap example, simple one using buttons. So if you click over here on the left-hand side, Bootstrap 5 buttons, you can see all of these different Bootstrap classes. So you have just your basic button, a primary button. So they have styling for a primary button where it's blue, the text is white. Secondary, this would be the color, success, green. These are all pre-built for you if you want to use them. Let's keep on moving down here. If you want to use outline buttons, here's the class that you would use. Here's another one where if you want to have a large button versus default and small, so if you want to adjust the button sizes, these are the different classes you'd use. Let's go ahead and click on Try It Yourself. So like I said, you still have to have these two different lines of code here in your head element in order to use Bootstrap. Now we can use Bootstrap's different classes to create buttons of different sizes.